49ers, who you for some reason don't like this season. Interesting. We're waiting for the Brock Purdy contract. John Lynch said he's optimistic there will be no drama, saying Brock wants to be with us. We want Brock to be with us. When that's the case, these things get done. Hopefully it happens really soon this offseason. Now, they had a protracted issue last year with Brandon Ayuk that was very ugly, and I'm sure they regret it. They're trying not to make that happen with Purdy. I can't even understand what the holdup could be.
I think, we always talk about what's the most interesting team. Bears last year, then they weren't by Thanksgiving. I think the Niners are really, really interesting. A lot of older players. I mean, they wanted to keep Greenlaw and Hufanga. That hurt. They wanted to keep those guys. I mean, they went and met with Greenlaw and tried to talk him into staying, but he's a Bronco now. And so they had some defense. And remember, Bosa gets hurt from time to time. Okay. When he's out of that defense, no Greenlaw, no Bosa, no Hufanga. It's not the same defense.
What about the offense, though? Who's stopping that Kyle Shanahan offense?
I don't know. Plenty of teams did last year.
Well, with no McCaffrey, no Ayuk.
Well, when it's overcast,
Ricky Pearsall. Stop with the weather and Purdy. Now Ricky Pearsall entering year 2. There is chatter that the Niners could go Tyler Warren, go more two tight end sets, shake up the offense a little bit from Shanahan, who's been running the same stuff.
Even though we don't have a lot of superstars in the first 12 picks, there are some players. Again, if you put a pass rusher on the other side of Bosa, you're like, oh, that's an upgrade. I mean, there are some clear upgrades. Travis Hunter to the Patriots. It's like, oh, they got some speed on the perimeter. That's a real, that could change the outcome of a close game or two.
Breer made it sound like he's not getting by the Giants, and I was just texting somebody about Shedeur Sanders. I don't know, guy. I'm just
You and me are on the Shedeur has to be a top 7.
Okay, well, we're talking about the 49ers, not Shedeur Sanders. It's funny to kind of question this, right? What's the holdup with the 49ers and Purdy and this or that? Listen, they both want a deal done. Brock Purdy wants to be a 49er, and the 49ers want Brock Purdy. The rest is just kind of logistics. Honestly, we don't have to make this into something more grandiose than it is, right? And I get the need to want to do that, right? It's like, well, if both sides want this, then just get it done and you're done. And it's like, there's still negotiating that's going to take place. And Brock Purdy's camp is still going to try to maximize the amount of money that he can get. And the 49ers still want to maximize the amount of money that they have to pay Brock Purdy. So this really does just become a game of logistics, honestly. And when you gotta really think about it, Brock Purdy never even got close to a payday in the NFL. Some of these other draft picks, they have already made $30-40 million. If you get drafted, top 10, whatever it is, you already have 20-30 million, sometimes more in the bank. There's already real money that you've already had. That has not been Brock Purdy's situation at all. So this now will truly be his first real game-changing payday. When in reality, the Tuas, the Trevor Lawrences, etc., those quarterbacks, their lives have already changed. Whether they never got whether they had ever got a first real contract, they've already had life-changing money. Again, it's not hundreds of millions of dollars, but it's tens of millions of dollars. It's already life-changing. It's already never have to work again. My children never have to work again. My children's children, it's life. It's money that is just insane still. It still makes you mega rich. Again, maybe not private jet all over the world, just for a cup of coffee rich, but still mega, mega rich. And like I said, Purdy hasn't even remotely sniffed that. He's essentially just had a really high paying job. I probably have met people who have made more money than Brock Purdy, which is just kind of crazy when you think about it. Especially if I knew a couple people who were, dual income family who were both big doctors or whatever. Collectively, they probably made more money than Brock Purdy. So again, that's just a reality of the situation. So everyone's going to do their due diligence. especially from Purdy's camp. I know it's just like, let's make sure we have all of this done correctly. There's no inherent rush to do it, right? It's not August right now. Like they're not playing games, which is actually, like, again, like, this is a positive thing. It's a positive. So we don't have to kind of twist it into being like, oh, what's going on here? If both people want to be part of it, then it should just be a done deal. And yeah, I mean, again, at the end of the day, you wish it was that simple. I mean, maybe from an entertainment standpoint, you don't want it to be that simple because then there's something to talk about. But I think this all makes sense. I think this is all par for the course. I would be more concerned if this was like Brock Purdy's second contract. He already, like, signed like $150 million deal, a few years ago, whatever. Kind of similar to what happened with Dak Prescott, because that was the whole thing with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. It was like, you already given him like a ton of money, like literally hundreds of millions of dollars. And like, now you're trying to like figure out like what to do here. Like you either know you like him or you don't. Like what is the weird hold up here? Then what did he sign a contract like literally the day of like the first game or something, or the day before, whatever it was? Like that was that was weird. It was like, Dak Prescott's been your quarterback for like, a decade now. You've already paid him like a ton of money. Like, and if you guys both want to be there, then like, what are you trying to figure out right now? Like, what's the story here? But even that still makes sense to a degree, because there's still so much money involved, guarantees, etc., etc. So yeah, it's funny to try to have to milk this story for more than it really is. Like, in the beginning, there was like, oh, should they pay Brock Purdy? And oh, Brock Purdy reportedly wants Dak Prescott money. And like, they kept going back and forth and back and forth. And I'm saying like anyone in the media, not like Colin or whatever, but just in general. And it was just like, they want the juice of this, right? They need it. They want it. They want some drama. They want, like, 49ers are concerned, and they want Brock Purdy demands more. And like, they need that. But think about it. There's really essentially been nothing. When you really think about all the stories, all of the leaks that have come out from this process, it's been pretty much textbook Brock Purdy. Just pretty basic, pretty quiet, pretty chill. Not a lot to talk about. Like, no stories about it. Like, nothing. That's all great signs. That's actually all really positive. That's why I keep saying, like, this is just like boring logistic bookkeeping. Like, again, who knows what they're really discussing in terms of guarantees, in terms of like what the final dollar is, how much is like considered a bonus, where is the money going to be allocated. You're still talking about a ton of money, and it still needs to kind of just be kind of figured out. And when there's no true rush to kind of get it all done, it just kind of gets done. But it is interesting though, because like I said, Brock Purdy does not have all that money in the bank yet. So like, he does, I believe he wants to sign this guy. Like, he wants to sign the contract. He wants it, because also the moment he signs, he is going to get some lump sum of money, and it will be the most amount of money that he's like ever had in the history of his existence. So, I'm sure he wants that, because like I said, as soon as you sign on the dotted line, like you got it, right? Like, all you do is just got to play for a second, and it's just like, boom, money in the bank. So we'll see though. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the 49ers and Brock Purdy? Why do you think this is taking so long, so to speak? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.